What's up, everybody? Subaru's fan here for Mustang Weekly Update number 65 on this Friday. So, what's new with the Mustang? Well, I have just passed 27,000 miles, and I'm happy to say that the check engine lights are all gone and resolved. So, the first one was just the one for the downpipe that wasn't canceled out by the tune for whatever reason and is now taken care of. The other one was the fuel deliver error that was coming up, and that one, after working with Adam from Tune Plus, he told me that that's because the car was going lean, and so we were kind of going back and forth. I did a few more data logs this week, and we kind of figured out what was going on, and pretty sure that what was going on was that the map, the Cobb Stage 3 map, was putting too high of a fuel demand on the car, and the car couldn't keep up with that demand, and so as a result it went lean, and so the car wasn't obviously performing at its peak, and thankfully obviously the car in the map was designed so that it didn't hurt anything, but it's definitely not suited for my car or the conditions or the gas or whatever is going on. I'm not sure. Cobb's running this same map without issue on their car, and I think a few other people so far. I mean, obviously the parts were just released recently, so it's going to take a little while for everyone to get all the parts and flash the tune and whatnot. But I haven't heard of any other issues, so I don't know if it's just a fluky thing with me or not. But anyone that's planning on running the Stage 3 tune, make sure you're doing data logs and checking everything to make sure it's safe. Don't just flash it and then just drive around and think everything's fine. Especially, like my car actually threw a check engine light, so especially if you see that, take it easy and make sure that you got everything dialed in correctly. But thankfully that's all done, and so so what we ended up doing was going back to the Tune Plus map, and Adam was able to dial everything in the correct way that my car needs to be dialed in, and so we're back on his map now, but like I said, nothing wrong with the Cobb map. It just wasn't suited for my specific circumstances. It was not working for me, but the Tune Plus tune has been working much better now. The car is running great. We still have to probably do one or two more revisions, and hopefully we'll be good to go. But it's been running really great, and the data log was really good last time. So should be close to the end of doing these data logs and revisions and revising these tunes over and over again, and we'll be good, and I can just drive the car and enjoy it. Because I have really been enjoying it. The more I drive this car with this exhaust, the more I really, really like it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I think I'm back to not being paranoid and finally just enjoying this car again, because it is a great car, and thankfully it's still holding up really well, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that hopefully it continues to do so. So yeah, that's it as far as all the updates on the Mustang, really. I'm going to be having a press car that'll be arriving, if you're watching this, of course, on Friday. It's arriving today, and so this car is going to be garaged for about a week or so, and then I'll be driving it again, for a little while again, and then I'll be getting a good amount of press cars, actually, from the middle of March until the middle of May. So I'm probably going to just keep this as like a weekend, nice day driving car for those 2 months, and kind of keep the miles down on it, try and slow down some of that depreciation, because I've just been loading the miles on it so quickly that it's just tanked in value. So I'm going to try and, hold back on the miles a little bit to kind of, recover some of that depreciation and let the rest of the EcoBoost Mustangs out there catch up with me. But yeah, 27,000 miles, and it's still going great. Still love the car. Everything else is holding up really well. But anyway, that's it for all the updates on the Mustang, so I'll send it back to me at the news desk for this week's news. Right, for this week's news, the first thing is some exciting changes to the Shelby GT350 here for 2017. And so we talked about a couple of weeks ago about the changes to the 2017 Mustang, which is that there basically are no changes, except they killed off Competition Orange, Deep Impact Blue, and the Guard Green, and instead of replacing it with a metallic white, a Lightning Blue, and Grabber Blue. And that's all the changes they're doing as far as the 2017 Mustang GT and regular Mustang are concerned. But the Shelby is getting a restructuring of the option packages for 2017, in addition to getting that new lightning blue color as well, and also the option of ruby red as a new color. And competition orange and deep impact blue are discontinued for the Shelby as well. But as far as these new option packages, I guess there's been some of the 2015 and 2016 Shelby GT350s, the standard ones, that have been tracked, and they've been going limp mode on the track. And so they, for whatever reason, they don't have the coolers on the standard GT350 for 2016. And so I guess the transmission and oil coolers are needed, I guess, for track use. And so people that take it to the track and don't get the track pack, which included those features, they were having trouble. And so Ford is making the track pack standard for 2017 on all Shelbys, and that was normally a $6,500 option. Now we don't have pricing for the new Shelbys yet, so we're not sure how much more expensive they're going to be now, because the starting price was like $48,500 before. Now I can guarantee it'll probably be well over $50,000 starting price for the Shelby. But, you do get those additional coolers, and you get all the same stuff you got on the track pack, the spoiler and all that great stuff, which is, a good upgrade. And so the way they've restructured it now, because you used to only be able to either get only the track pack or the technology package, which had, the nicer, comfortable seats and the, touchscreen and Sync 3 and all that kind of stuff. Now you can, obviously, since the track pack is standard on the Shelby, there's now 2 option packages you can get for 2017. There is an electronics package, which gives you the sound system that's a little bit nicer, the Sync 3, and the driving modes and all the toggles and the stuff you normally get in a Mustang Premium. That stuff you can get. But if you can actually, with that electronics package, you don't get the nicer seats. So you just have the same basic cloth seats, which is a really cool combination, because a lot of people like the cloth, but you can only get leather with the nicer interior. And so now to be able to get the nicer interior with cloth seats, I think it's going to be much appreciated by some people. And then if you want, you can still get those nice heated and cooled leather seats like you get in all the other Mustang Premiums. That is part of a convenience package, which includes all the electronics plus those nicer, more comfortable seats. So those are the 2 new packages you can now get with the Shelbys, and otherwise they're unchanged. There's no new power or any kind of other enhancements, but that's, I think, a really good enhancement and really smart that Ford is doing that. Right, so for other automotive news this week, the first is the new Lamborghini Centenario was just leaked in patent drawings, and I don't know if these patent drawings are a little weird or the perspective is wrong or what, but it looks terrible in my opinion. It's such a frumpy looking, oddly proportioned Lamborghini. I don't know if that's actually the way it's going to look whenever it comes out at Geneva here next month, but that is an interesting design. I don't know, maybe some of you like it, but I personally do not think it looks very good. Another vehicle that's going to be debuting at the Geneva Motor Show is the Lexus LC500H, but they've already shown it to us here. It's the hybrid version of the car that debuted in Detroit, the regular LC500, and this hybrid version is pretty interesting. So one of the interesting things about it, of course, it has an electric motor to go along with its gasoline engine, but the really interesting thing is this has a 4-speed automatic transmission, believe it or not, and they say that is actually the most effective transmission with the large amount of torque that the electric motors make and things like that. They say 0 to 60 is well under 5 seconds, so well into the 4-second range there, and so we'll have more information about it as it officially gets unveiled at Geneva. But in the meantime, we know that it's going to be quite a good performer and has a 4-speed automatic transmission. So that's interesting. Another car that's going to be debuting at the Geneva Motor Show is the new Mercedes-Benz C-Class Cabriolet. We just have one teaser image of it here, and it's a sketch. And so, I mean, it doesn't take much of a stretch of the imagination to imagine what a convertible C-Class would look like. So, that will be coming out of Geneva and probably be on sale sometime this summer. Another car that was officially unveiled this week was the 2017 Jaguar F-Type SVR. And now there was an image that leaked out. We knew it was going to hit 200 miles per hour last week, but this week we have more information on it now, including the price. This faster F-Type is $126,945, and that's for the hardtop, so $127,000. The convertible is $130,000. So, and that's starting before options and whatnot. And I don't know, I love the F-Type, but honestly I'd be perfectly happy with just the regular R, because this SVR, it only adds 25 extra horsepower and 15 extra pound-feet of torque. It's lighter, and it's, got more beefed up components for those that, do really intense driving, but I think the regular F-Type R would be plenty intense enough for most people, and is much more affordable, I guess, at under $100,000 or so. A car that leaked out this past week, I guess there must have been a private showing and someone snuck a camera in and took a picture of this Aston Martin DB11, and I gotta say, it looks really stunning. I mean, obviously it's just a crude photo of it here, but it looks, it's got all the cool little things about the DB10 while still obviously having more of a production ready kind of shape. And I think that is a beautiful car, an absolute home run from Aston Martin. And all we have is just this image, and it's already mind blowing. So I can't imagine, once we see the full thing in all its glory, it's gonna be stunning. Aston Martin is really, I think, doing well for themselves here. And we also know that this car is going to be the first one to have the new Mercedes-AMG developed engine in it. That's going to be a twin turbo V12, I believe, is what they're planning on in this, and should make for a pretty impressive car. So that's great news. Other Aston Martin news is they officially announced this week that they're partnering with a Chinese company called LeEco, and they're going to be doing a new Rapide E, which is going to be the electric version of the Rapide. They want to have it on sale by 2018, and it was cool that they're doing that, and so yeah, I don't really have too many other comments about that. I mean, obviously the glorious sounding regular Rapide would be most people's choices, but for those that want an electric Aston Martin, 2018 will be your year. As far as other British super sedans here, Bentley officially unveiled the Flying Spur V8S, which is exactly like the Continental GT V8S. It has the same engine as that vehicle, and so that's being added on in addition to the base V8 and the W12, which is still the top dog engine. So pretty sweet, 521 horsepower now from that twin turbo V8 engine. That sounds wonderful. And if I were to get a Bentley, that would be the engine I would get for sure. Very cool that they announced that. Another thing that was officially unveiled this week was the Alpine Vision concept, which is by Renault. And it's harkening back to their old Renault Alpine that they had, and I think it's kind of as a retro modern design, and it looks really, really great. This isn't the production car. This is a concept, but they're saying that we'll see the production version before the end of the year. They're saying it's going to have a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. They said that it's going to do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds or less, and it should be a very impressive performing vehicle to kind of compete with the Porsche Cayman, the Alfa Romeo 4C, and I think it looks great. Unfortunately, of course, we don't get Renaults here in America, so that will be a European-only thing. But those of you in Europe will be lucky to see those rolling around on the streets, hopefully next year sometime. A usually European-only car that is coming to the States here, possibly, according to this rumor, is the Audi RS3. There was a Audi USA employee that was telling people that they're going to be bringing the RS3 to America, but they're ditching the hatchback and making a sedan version for us in America because we apparently still prefer sedan versions. I think that a hatchback would sell much better, actually, but Audi still thinks we like sedans better. So that's what they're planning on doing. They said it could have over 400 horsepower whenever it comes out, and that it could be priced right around between $50,000 and $55,000, which would be very competitive and kind of undercut the CLA 45 AMG by just a little bit. And so that'd be pretty cool. They said it'll be coming to our shores supposedly next year as a 2018 model, and that it could actually come along with a refreshed version of the A3 and S3 that we'll probably be getting here as they try and keep the car modern looking. Speaking of the European super sedans, though, last week I just missed it in the weekly news, and so I'm talking about it this week. BMW introduced the new M760i xDrive, which isn't much of a name. I hate all this. Just does not sound very nice. Anyway, it's a pretty sweet sounding package, though. It's a twin turbo 6.6 liter V12 engine, but it only has 600 only. Now I know I'm spoiled, but it only has 600 horsepower and only 590 pound-feet of torque. The reason why I say only is because just last week they also announced the Alpina B7, which is also a BMW product, and that has a twin turbo 4.4 liter V8 engine that also has exactly 600 horsepower and exactly 590 pound-feet of torque. So literally the same exact amount of power, and you have a 2.2 liter larger, an extra 4 cylinders, and you still have the same twin turbo setup, and you're making the same amount of power. I mean, obviously BMW must be underrating this car seriously, but come on. I mean, if you're going to use that big of an engine, then just go for it. Make it like 800 horsepower, which should be well within that engine's capabilities, I think. So for it to have the same power as a little twin turbo V8 is kind of embarrassing, if I'm honest, but it's pretty sweet nonetheless. And I'm sure there's going to be all the tuners out there who are just drooling, just waiting to get their hands on this thing and, you know, unleash its true potential. And the funny thing is, though, we don't have a price for this or the Alpina B7 that you know, was unveiled last week, but they're probably going to be pretty much the same price. And the Alpina is faster, even with its smaller engine. It'll actually do 0 to 60, I think, in 3.6 seconds versus 3.9 seconds here. BMW is saying for the 760, and so I'm not sure what the deal is with the way they did that at BMW there. They should just make a full-on M7 or something, but that is what they have put out. And hey, more super sedans, I guess, is not a bad thing ever. Just interesting that they launched it like that. Anyway, another car that was officially unveiled this past week was the 2018 Volvo V90. I'm not sure why it's a 2018, unless this car isn't going to be arriving until the middle of next year. It's kind of silly to make it a 2018. It should be a 2017. Anyway, it's a great looking wagon from Volvo, and, you know, looks very similar to the XC90 and, of course, the new S90 that just unveiled. And, you know, that's their typical formula. It looks great and should be a great wagon. So that's great to see. Another a crossover that was officially priced this week was the 2017 GMC Acadia that unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show. It's going to be starting at $5 under $30,000, $29,995, and a really competitive price. That's less than the previous generation Acadia, and so hopefully that'll help it to sell better. And so great to see that. And the last story this week is about Alfa Romeo. Now, you know, we've been hearing how they're going to have a new SUV coming out, and according to the Sergio Marchionne, you know, the CEO of Alfa Romeo and Fiat Chrysler Group in general, he has said that the new SUV is going to be called the Stelvio. That's right, after the Stelvio Pass, which is from my favorite Top Gear episode, where they try to find the best driving road in the world. And so that's what they're naming it after. Very cool name, though. I think it's a beautiful name, actually. Hopefully the SUV is beautiful as well, and hopefully it actually makes it to the States on time here like they're hoping to do, because Alfa Romeo has had quite a few setbacks recently, so fingers crossed that it all works out for them. So anyway, that's it for all the news this week, guys, so I'll send it back to me in the car. Alrighty, so I'll leave you guys with a nice little acceleration here again, like I always do. And there's all the wheel spin. Woohoo! That time I was giving it more squirrely. That's the most this thing has been tail happy in a long time. That's the most it's ever been tail happy for me. Wow. I guess it's just these roads are covered in a lot of salt. But this thing was just going sideways. Woo! It's fun. I miss being able to do that. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next week. Take care.